Well, hello there, YouTube. Welcome to the video here on the channel. My name is Emily. Apologies for the Z factor in the background. Can't do anything about that. But we're here on the Nottingham to Derby route, Derby Nottingham Leicester route, I should say, DNL, by which is part of the middle and main line by Just Trains. And we're looking at a new wagon pack. This is a modification of something that comes with the game, but this is the Train Sim Rolling Stock HTA. Ah, ah. Guys, I cannot stress enough how long I've wanted a train like this. With these wagons, they look amazing. Compared to what we've had, these look night and day. 25 million times better. So, we're going to talk about it a bit more, but today we are actually doing a modified version of 6 Mach 4, the 645, Humber International Coal Terminal to Ratcliffe Power Station. So, we're basically going to jump the wagons at Toton. Sorry, yeah, we're going to go to Ratcliffe, empty the wagons out, hopefully. And then the train will continue to Toton, we won't be. I tells you that for free. Got a tail lamp fitted now. Very very flattered, I should say. So, what we'll do, I'm going to open up the manual so I can actually read through the features. I've not actually looked at these in too much depth yet. I'm aware of about one feature and that's it. So, EN. Yeah, time for me to go to the coffee page. So, TSRS sells their stuff through coffee. Core 5 coffee. I can't recommend their work enough. This is just another amazing product by them, to be fair. Let's have a look. So, HTA wagons. This is the most expensive pack so far for £6.50. Justified, in my opinion. And user guide. There we go. So, I'm going to just be cautious of the red signal at the end of the platform. Verbalizing it, pointing at it, therefore I know it's there and I can continue to read. So, we are obviously just slowing down. Basically, we do have a pathing brake here, and we have to come to a stand for the signal report, unfortunately. So it's 2018, so we do have a weird little site here. An MTU HST pulling in. You get the interesting sight if you hear the MTU. Interesting roof on that TRFB. Sorry. What you hear is, when it comes past you, especially you hear it a lot better at speed. That's what an MTU engine sounds like. That's what a VP185 engine sounds like. Very, very different sounds. Because in my head, I've never used to pay that much attention, but as soon as you get them on the same train, it's very clear which one's which. Actually, I need to stop just to tick the box for the scenario. I'm really sorry, guys. That's how I would have approached this in real life. I would have just rolled through. I'm just going to say you're done. Congratulations. I hope. We're not fully platformed or anything. We're knacking the station up. But hey. I've got the hood on just to see when that instruction finishes. Better way to do this. There we go. Oh, it's finished. Perfect. Pull the brake off. Half pound. Oh, roll back. Uh-oh. Yeah, we're on a slight uphill grade. She sounds good, right? These look absolutely stunning. So we're going to go into the cab just to keep working the train, basically. Take an extra notch of power. We are a 15 limit through the station, but we just need to get up to 15. So, the manual. This wagon pack recreates the iconic HTA coal hopper seen in freight trains over Britain since the start of the 21st century. With over 1,000 built, the HTAs found themselves with being used for several purposes over time, along with various alterations to their design. This add-on aims to capture the different faces of the HTA hopper from its introduction to the present day, including custom sounds, weather textures, dynamic scripting, and more. Read on for more information. We shall, don't worry, TSRS. I'm gonna, as far as I'm aware, that's actually the correct way to reduce power on a 66. Anyway, overviews. Over 1,000 were built from 2001 to 2004 to replace the antiquated fleet of HTA wagons from dating from the 1960s. Their design was much larger and had a distinctive American look. Buckeye couplers, large hand wheels, three-piece cast-iron bogies, etc. Once a common staple of rail freight in South Wales and the north, they carried huge quantities of coal and coke between mines, power stations, and steelworks. However, due to the kind of the coal industry, the wagons have found themselves used for limestone traffic more recently. Most notably, they've seen use at Peak Forest in Derbyshire and on the Mendip Stone trains for a period in the mid-2010s. At the time of writing, HTA wagons are very thin on the ground and only a handful are left in service. What's included? The HTA B wagon without buffers, which is what we have today. So this uses obviously the Buckeye, so you can see we're connected by Buckeyes, and you've got the black fronts on the wagons there. And there's no buffers or coupling other coupling equipment. 6 variants of weathering from clean to lots of coal or stone dust. Randomized graffiti, scriptable livery details, dynamic loading with dust effect, custom sound set designed to sound similar to the real thing. Three scenarios for Dovetail Games / BMG's Welsh marches, and they're just trains middle main line with various extensions. Like I say, this is not a built-in scenario. This is one that I've modified myself. I'm going to take full power because, yeah, there's our 80, so we can go up to 35 and then 60. Again, we're going to absolutely thrash this thing past us. So we are at coming up through 10. So you get the run sound, you get a rattle, you get a bit of the actual wheel spin, which is really cool. And you get some flats there as well. It's a long train, this. So in the train's length, we've gone up from 50, up to that, which is fine. We'll not be going through 35 before we pass the 60 limit. Well, it's an 80 limit, but we can only do 60 over it. So, HTA wagons are the most common and represent the wagons as built. They're Buckeye / auto couplers at each end and can therefore be coupled to any other wagon or locomotive with the same type of coupler. Most commonly, they'll be connected to the first batch of Class 66 locomotives with Buckeyes. HTA D wagons were like the modification which added conventional buffers and screw-in couplings to one end of the wagon. Ooh, these function as a converter wagon, allowing to allow sets of HTAs to be coupled to non-Buckeye rolling stock and locomotives. That's really interesting. These differences should be taken into account when spawning consists. W1, very clean, first years of service. W2, some weathering, but represents a wagon kept in good condition. W3, heavy weathering and faded with coal dust or stone dust, depending on the type of load. W4, extreme weathering with strips of undercoat showing through the heavy staining from coal or stone, depending on load. So the loads there are, which we've actually got 2 loads on the train. We've got coal fine and coal. So the first coal that you'll see, this is coal fine. That is that is more powdery, lighter coal. And as we go further down the train, we should see some regular coal kick in, which is standard lumps of coal. There you go. Oh, timed that well, didn't I? We are on a green, green, green. Still going through 40 miles an hour. In full power, just come on, come on. There's also limestone 1 and limestone 2. Limestone 1 is a coarser white stone based on peak forest limestone. Limestone 2, a dark finer stone based on Mendip limestone. That's pretty cool, that variation. There are 3 visual elements that can be configured using the vehicle number. When spawned, a random selection of these are chosen, but you can customize each one. Graffiti number. So change the number to select a different graffiti design, not available on the W1 wagons. 1 to 23 are large designs on the left. 24 to 38 are smaller tags on the right. G equals 0 disables graffiti. Modified brake square, set MBs equals 0 or MB1. This generates wagon with modified brakes, purely a visual feature. Debranded patch, so you saw that obviously some of these wagons have been cutting around with GBRF on coal work. So some of them have got like the red patch. We saw it on the rearmost. Yeah, there you go. So basically someone's painted over the EWS logo, like EWS text. Larger yellow stripe. If the wagon number is set to 31001, a different style livery will appear with a larger yellow area at the top. Presumably it was a prototype livery that was not used for the rest of the fleet. Dynamic loading. The following step guide, as well as the scenario editor, included in this wagon is a transfer point asset intended for use in scenarios. I've not included it, but that's fine. But basically, you can use it to trigger an unloading of the scenarios. What we'll do is we'll have a look and see if it works with whatever just trains had in play. Hopefully it does. Credits and acknowledgements: Amal Robinson, Bogey Meshes, scripting assistance and scenario creation; Tom Harrison, scenario creation; Jake Didcote, assistance with research and testing; Free Extractor, a great open source installer software. What was that going the other way? I say it looked like a 158, but I wasn't sure. We'd also like to acknowledge all of the wagon photographers at Flickr, as well as LTS3 rail data for useful reference photos and information. He's on his way to Lincoln. Fair enough. We are at 50 now. Just checking our next pathing points. It's still trend south. We should be fine. So interestingly, we're actually losing time against what the sim thought thinks we should be at. Saying graduate self-lap on the brake. We've definitely got the brake in release. Nothing we can do really. It's obviously, so I'm following the timings that are laid out by Just Trains for this one. Yeah, and obviously with changing the wagons, it changes the potential load. So that prototype wagon livery that we talked about earlier, I don't think it's included, but basically the entire top of the sort of curved area is yellow. Yeah, it's not included in our train today. But yes, so overall, what are my opinions? It's a TSRS product. Go buy it, quite frankly. The PNA, PNA was the last pack. The brick wagons we did on the East Coast Main Line. Those are really cool, but they're quite niche because they're only used on one working. These, up until 10 years ago, would be everywhere. Anywhere that had a coal power station served by rail, you'd have these things. They're a core memory of my childhood, seeing them cutting around the network. Obviously, I'm from the northeast, so we'd see them being either going to power stations, but also going to the open cast of Butterwell, would be my local one. So yeah, you had all sorts of coal workings, which were really cool to see. Unfortunately, all of those paths have now disappeared, and I didn't have the foresight to save them. So I have to figure out a cool path or a cool scenario to make for this. I am hoping to do a Christmas scenario spree this year. I've already got a few ready, and some of them I'm actually quite pleased or proud of. Sorry. Sorry. I say a few. I've got one ready. That's a meridian coming the other way. Let's put our headphones on and enjoy the sound of a meridian. Actually, let's just stand here and get bold. I think honestly the freight's probably cooler than the meridian. Double amber. Sorry, I'm not doing that properly. Double amber, single amber next. We got to 55. I'm just going to slow us off to 40 because that is our next line speed. And hopefully that means if we're following something, we should get sort of slot around it. So that's the lines joining us there from Toten. That's where this train will be going next. We won't be on it because of the way I'm doing the work today. We're only going as far as Ratcliffe Power Station on board the train, which is because it's just a quick first look at a wagon pack. Single amber red ahead, so I'm going to go to a bit more brake now. You can see my signal. It looks like it's pulled up for double, so I'm going to just go idle for now. And I'll roll around here at 35. Yeah, I've had to slow off because of the points thing. That's quite frustrating. Oh well. I slowed off because of the signal, because I'm driving effectively. So that's a bit of a feedback or criticism for the AP scenario, but sorry for the JT scenario maker. That's Ratcliffe Power Station though, so we are very nearly here. Yeah, we've got dubs with a feather, which means we've got the turn off, which tells us we're going to 25. Bit of additional braking, there we go. 25 will be out by the time we hit the crossing because we're like 25.5 at the moment. Double amber, single amber next. And there's our 25 warning for the diverging, which is what we're taking. We're going out the slow lines here. And we're approaching the bridge over the Trent. My favourite bits of architecture on this line. Just looks really pretty, in my opinion. I'm actually going to use that as a screenshot of the top one. Get my angle the way I like it, which is quite tight on the loco, the wagon view, but also not as tight on the loco. More wagons. I'd be really interested to see if flange causes additional deceleration. I've never noticed it, but I also don't drive heavy freight particularly much. And when I say heavy freight, I mean like American size stuff. You know what? That's definitely scrubbing off more. So what's flange? You're not actually hearing it here. But when we go over the point, that squeal, that's flange noise right there. Now, flange noise, what that does is obviously that's effectively energy being released, or potential energy being released as sound. Now, that means that potential energy isn't inertia, which means the speed should scrub off quicker. No, I'm being an idiot. But basically, it means we're dumping the energy from us traveling as sound rather than as forward energy. Sorry, better way to explain what I'm trying to say here. I think we're going to slow down. I'm going to go to 15 just for entering over the point work. So we'll just scrub to that. Or to 5. Oh well. They didn't say that on the route loading notes. Plot twist they're on. You can see that the brakes are pretty perfect. Or pretty great. Put that brake off. It's at this point that I really wish I had Just double check our routing has been set correctly here. Yes, it has. Good. Okay, so being pulled through, and you can see we're going to be used, thrown over the unloader here. Let's have a look inside. So I've never, like, this route's been out for ages. I've never actually been in here. So Wagon, that's the limestone loader. So limestone is something that you will bring down here. But this is the coal unloading chutes. This is really cool. I'm going to take a screenshot as it comes out of here because this is. I've not seen this, but it's incredibly nicely done. And then we roll around the outside. Never seen these signals before. And then we get held on the departure road. Cool. Just notch one of power, just enough to sustain us. Then we'll rumble around the site and go home. But we'll just see the train unload, see if it does unload, and go from there. Little point of order I'd quite like, just something I quite like as a feature, is when you get the dust effect. So, I don't know about coal, but limestone it gets caught by the airflow, billows out the top of the train, and you can get sort of a white cloud following the train down. It'd be lovely to get the same with the coal. I'm not sure if it would act like that, but also there's no reason it shouldn't. That's quite a good screenshot of the meridian in the background. Just to show the back of the train, it's still in the tunnel. We're still entering Ratcliffe. He's just going up the fast lines. If you route through line B at Ratcliffe Power Station, make sure the points are set for you to continue the run around loop after unloading. Stop inside the unloading area and stop when required to load the train. Can I do these on the move? Ugh, dear. I'm not stopping 23 times. I'll do a couple just to show them to you guys. Beyond that, I'm not doing it. Right, I want to go to the number 9 cam. So we just want to make sure that we are set appropriately. No, we're not. And then that takes us all the way back out and brings us back out on the line next to us. Cool. That works for me. We'll just fast forward some time. Otherwise, we're going to be here a long while. Because I'm probably doing a solid half hour at 5 miles an hour coming through here. So it'll be about 2.5 miles of track in this compound because it's quite a big area. Like, how far am I from thingy? 0.8. Yeah, because it's about halfway around the loop. So about 2 miles. Call it half an hour of cruising around here at low speed. Power off. The trick is there is actually slow speed computer on the Class 66 that would control that, as far as I'm aware. But it is so. Like I say, this is absolutely a go buy it thing. I love it just because it also fills a hole. So the MBAs and the MOAs and all that sort of B whatever wagon pack that was done. That was the first one that I think you saw from TS Rolling Stock as a paid release. That filled a hole, and that's what TS Rolling Stock has done ever since. Kept plugging at those holes. And yeah, this is great. Like, I've never done, at least a modern era, merry-go-round service because we've never had the correct wagons for it. It's just been a bit miserable to try and do. But this really changes that. Like, I'm sitting here looking at it going, this is cool, right? Like, I'm actually coming through a power station area. And okay, I can't think of many of the rail serve power stations except Drax and all stuff, but yeah, it is still really incredible. We'll just there you go. Okay, so that signal's just pulled off for us. It's is that basic cautionary aspect? What do we treat that as? So I have realised that the problem with it being so dark in here is you guys won't actually see much of the unloading going on. Only thing I can do is camera options. Nope. Options. Basically completely fluff my game for you guys. It's so bright. So it's Shift T. No, sadly it doesn't drop, which is to be expected really. We didn't modify the scenario to use the correct feature. Let's quickly put that back to where it was. Oh, even that's a bit better. This is quite bearable to look at now. We'll pull out. I'm just going to put the nose of the engine outside the shed so we can grab that as a screenshot. But we'll absolutely look at doing a merry-go-round service with these. Yes, it sounds like it's going to take off, but deal with it. That might have emptied incrementally. But there you go. That's going to look weird now. But go figure. Did that work in the end? No, it didn't. Cool. Well, anyway, that is Ratcliffe Power Station and the HTA Wagon pack. Final thoughts. Is it worth it? 1 gazillion%. Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely brilliant. I'm in love with what they've achieved here. I think it's great. And go support TS Rolling Stock. They do great work. They do absolute hero work. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching today's video. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button. Subscribe to see more from me on a regular basis. And we'll see you guys very soon. Bye bye.